Alas, said Celeborn, we long have feared that under Cardaras a terror slept. But had I known that the dwarves had stirred up this evil in Moria again, I would have forbidden you to pass the northern borders, you and all that went with you. And if it were possible, one would say that at the last Gandalf fell from wisdom into folly, going needlessly into the net of Moria. He would be rash indeed that said that thing, said Galadriel gravely. Needless were none of the deeds of Gandalf in life. Those that followed him knew not his mind, and cannot report his full purpose. But however it may be with the guide, the followers are blameless. Do not repent of your welcome to the dwarf. If our folk had been exiled long and far from Lothlorien, who of the Galadriel, even Celeborn the wise, would pass nigh and would not wish to look upon their ancient home, though it had become an abode of dragons? Dark is the water of Calgalid Zaram, and cold are the springs of Kibel Nala, and fair were the many-pillared halls of Khazad-dûm in elder days, before the fall of mighty kings beneath the stone. She looked upon Gimli, who sat glowering and sad, and she smiled. And the dwarf, hearing the names given in his own ancient tongue, looked up and met her eyes, and it seemed to him that he looked suddenly into the heart of an enemy, and saw their love and understanding. Wonder came into his face, and then he smiled and answered. There was a silence. At length Celeborn spoke again. I did not know that your plight was so evil, he said. Let Gimli forget my harsh words. I spoke in the trouble of my heart. I will do what I can to aid you, each according to his wish and need, but especially that one of the little folk who bears the burden. Your quest is known to us, said Galadriel. And what gift would a dwarf ask of an elf? Said Galadriel, turning to Gimli. None, lady, answered Gimli. It is enough for me to have seen the Lady of Galadriel, and to have heard her gentle words. Hear all ye elves, she cried to those about her. Let none say again that dwarves are grasping and ungracious. Yet surely, Gimli, son of Golin, you desire something that I should give. Name it. I bid you. You shall not be the only guest without a gift. You move me, Gimli, said Legolas. I have never heard you speak like this before. Almost you make me regret that I have not seen those caves. Come, let us make this bargain. If we both return safe out of the perils that await us, we will journey for a while together. You shall visit Fangorn with me, and then I will come with you to see Helm's Deep. The old Ent looked at them long and searchingly, and spoke to them in turn. Last he turned to Legolas. So you have come all the way from Mirkwood, my good elf. A very great forest it used to be. And still it is, said Legolas, but not so great that we who dwell there ever tire of seeing new trees. I should dearly love to journey in Fangorn's wood. I scarcely passed beyond the eaves of it, and I did not wish to turn back. Treebeard's eyes gleamed with pleasure. I hope you may have your wish, ere the hills be much older, he said. I will come, if I have the fortune, said Legolas. I have made a bargain with my friend, that if all goes well, we will visit Fangorn together, by your leave. Any elf that comes with you will be welcome, said Treebeard. The friend I speak of is not an elf, said Legolas. I mean Gimli, Golin's son here. Gimli bowed low, and the axe slipped from his belt and clattered on the ground. Hum! Ah, now, said Treebeard, looking dark-eyed at him, a dwarf and an axe-bearer. I have good will to elves, but you ask much. This is a strange friendship. Strange it may seem, said Legolas, but while Gimli lives, I shall not come to Fangorn alone. His axe is not for trees, but for Orknex, O Fangorn, master of Fangorn's wood. 42 he hewed in the battle. It's foolish for me to say that we don't recognize people by looking at their appearances or what culture or ethnicity or even color of their skin. And so the term colorblind may seem a bit naive to some, or it may seem impossible to some. But there are beings and humans that can look past the surface of a person and can see straight through to their soul, to understand their intent and their mind, and to not judge people by what they look like, but by their character. And as they show how strong their character is, how full of good intentions they are, that is when the elves will recognize a person and will be able to look beyond the first appearances. They will give them an opportunity to show their true character and allow that to shine through and allow that to be the judge of whether they want to know a person or not. So the wisest beings of Arda, being on a planet full of many diverse beings, would never judge solely by the appearance. They would take that into perspective, but what they are really looking for is the heart of a person, the mind of a person, what is beyond that exterior. And so the wiser you are, the less judgmental you are about surfaces, because you know that it's only a vessel for the soul. And what really counts is the soul inside and the consciousness that you carry. And so that is what the elves would do in terms of diversity. They would never judge a book by its cover, but simply open up the pages and see if they can be delighted in what they find, or if they are turned off by the attitude or the behavior or the characters of others. But it's foolish to judge someone by the way that they look, because you have no idea what kind of heart, what kind of mind, what consciousness lies behind what you may first perceive. So as you can see, this is how the elves handle diversity. They look inside of a person and they go well beyond the outside exterior, because that's what really matters. They know deep inside that the only thing that is inside of a person is what really counts. It is the soul, it is the consciousness of a person. It is not really the outside exterior that makes a person. But we must be logical and understand that we do take that in. But if you simply stop yourself from experiencing another person just because of the way that they look or a cultural or ethnicity background and they seem different to you, you may be a fool, because you may be missing out on a great experience of making a new friend, just as Legolas did with Gimli. Don't look at a person for what they are on the outside. Peer into their soul and see their inside, and that way you don't miss out on any opportunities within life.